Hello happy people, I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're taking a look at Crouch End by Stephen King. I have my copy of it in this 1980 collection, New Tales of the Cthulhu Mythos, edited by Ramsey Campbell, a big writer in it. It has a lot of new fiction that was written for it, including the big name of Stephen King, Crouch End, which is the first short story in this collection. Now, I've read this collection backwards to forwards one full time. And then I've also read now Crouch End twice because I finished it again last night for the second time. It's set in a suburb of London that actually exists. That's called Crouch End, where some weird stuff is happening. Its Cthulhu Mythos elements are light. It's basically in some addresses. Some of the names are Cthulhu, Nyarlathotep, Sathagua, Yog-Sothoth. So it names a few big bands, but that's pretty much it. And it also mentions H.P. Lovecraft too. One of the policemen, who are point of view characters, who are telling a story back and forth and interviewing somebody who just had a strange thing, or just saying one of the ones who's been there for a while, and it's this older jaded person. It's like, have you read H.P. Lovecraft? He talks about parallel worlds, and this place, Crouch End, is a thin world, a thin place between the worlds, and a lot of bad stuff happens. And so that basically is the sort of the seed of the short story writ large. I'm giving it just a 7 out of 10. It's fine. It's worth your time, but it's not amazing. I'm not going to the bat for it. It was probably a little longer than it needed to be. It was about an hour for me to read it. It was about 41 pages long. It felt a little long. Probably felt like maybe it was 4 or 5, maybe even 6 pages too long. I think you could have removed some stuff from it, made it a stronger story. But there you are. I think it's pretty good. Crouch End by Stephen King. But there's a lot of fun stuff that's happening in it. You'll find out in the first 4 or 5 pages. The frame device for this is that some police officers are talking about the craziness of the town, and the older person is telling the younger person about it, and about the unsolved cases in the back that are pretty bad, and some bad stuff has happened in these unfigured out cases that they have and they have more than a normal suburb of London would have in Crouch End. And they also say that one of them says, and the older one who's about ready to retire says to the younger one, hey, look, she's never going to see her husband again. The wife is never going to see her husband again. He died, even though we don't have a body or anything else like this, because it's not the first time I've heard a crazy story like this. And then after that conversation between our two police officers, about 5 or 6 pages into the 50 to the 40th short story, then the actual regurgitation of what had happened in the interview with this wife, as the various things that happened are going to continue. The police officer will talk about it here in there, and then we'll finish off with the police officers again, the 2 officers, and for about the last 2 or 3 pages. And that's sort of the structure of this short story, Crouch End by Stephen King. There's not a whole lot here. 7 out of 10 is pretty good. I did enjoy it. It was definitely worth your time. It's in the Cthulhu Mythos a little lightly. The Cthulhu Mythos elements right here are fine. And the short story is pretty good. So there you are. That's Crouch End by Stephen King, written for the 1980 collection, New Tales of the Cthulhu Mythos by Ramsey Campbell, the editor. So have you read this short story by Stephen King? If so, what did you think? Did you agree or disagree with my take on it? What did you think about it? Did you have any thoughts or comments that you would like to talk about it in any way, shape, or form? From the spoilers, the end, 40 pages or so that I haven't reviewed for, I'll be more than happy to engage with further in the comments below. If you like this video, why not hit that subscribe button? There's going to be a lot more of these to follow in horror like this one, fantasy, and science fiction. And then finally, hey, I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing in and watching my video. We all have so many things that are happening in our lives, right? And we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. Thanks again, and have a great day.